Welcome back to Screamville, where the ghosts are real, the legends are spooky, and the narrator desperately needs therapy after researching all of this. Today, we're diving headfirst into Georgia's most haunted places, Part 2. That's right, Part 2. Because clearly, one round of ghost stories wasn't enough for this peach-loving, ghost-infested state. Now, if you missed Part 1, don't worry. I'm not mad, just haunted by the betrayal, but seriously, go back and watch it. We covered everything from cemeteries that whisper your name to haunted inns that offer turn-down service and then turn your soul inside out. But today's list? Even scarier. We're talking about places where shadows walk, doors slam for no reason, and that chill down your spine isn't because you left the AC on. You'll hear about a mansion where the floorboards creak even when nobody's home, a hospital that may still have patients from 1923, and a church where the spirits sing louder than the choir. It's like Georgia decided to combine Gone with the Wind with paranormal activity, and honestly, I'd still buy that movie. So, grab your holy water, your nightlight, and your friend who always says they don't believe in ghosts but screams louder than you when the lights flicker. And if you live in Georgia, don't worry, the odds of living next to a haunted site are about 1 in 3, maybe 2. It's basically free ghost real estate. Before we jump in, do me a solid. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. I'd say I'm doing this for the love of ghost stories, but I tried selling my mixtape in Atlanta, and let's just say, Lil Baby won't be contacting me anytime soon. Alright, let's get spooky. Georgia, you've got some explaining to do. Again, let's do it. Welcome to Screamville. The Hay House, also known as the Johnston-Felton Hay House, is a historic mansion located at 934 Georgia Avenue in Macon, Georgia. Built between 1855 and 1859 by William Butler Johnston and his wife Anne Tracy Johnston, the house was inspired by Italian architecture they admired during their extended honeymoon in Europe. This 18,000-square-foot, 4-level mansion is an exemplar of the Italian Renaissance Revival style, a departure from the prevalent Greek Revival architecture of the antebellum South. It was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1974 due to its architectural significance and advanced technological features for its time, including hot and cold running water, central heat, gas lighting, and a speaker tube system connecting 15 rooms. The mansion remained in the Johnston family until 1926, when it was sold to Parks Lee Hay, founder of the Bankers Health and Life Insurance Company. After Mrs. Hay's death in 1962, the house was operated as a private museum before being transferred to the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation in 1977. Today, the Hay House is open to the public for tours and events, showcasing its rich history and architectural grandeur. Beyond its historical and architectural significance, the Hay House is reputed to be one of Georgia's most haunted locations. Visitors and staff have reported various paranormal occurrences, including cold spots, disembodied voices, and apparitions. One of the most frequently reported sightings is that of an elegant elderly woman in 19th century attire, believed to be the spirit of Mary Ellen Felton, the Johnstons' youngest daughter. She has been seen wandering the hallways and rummaging through antique furniture, as if searching for something. Additionally, objects have been known to move or disappear inexplicably, and contractors have reported tools sliding across the floor during renovations. To explore these tales further, the Hay House offers special events like the Haunts and History on the Hill, Walking Ghost Tour, and the Legends and Lore Evening Tour, where guests can experience the mansion after dark and hear stories of its supernatural occurrences. The Rosemary Hall, where Southern charm meets spectral chic. Nestled in North Augusta, South Carolina, just a stone's throw from Augusta, Georgia, this stately mansion is as rich in history as it is in ghostly gossip. Built between 1900 and 1902 by James Urquhart Jackson, the founder of North Augusta, this Greek Revival beauty boasts 12 fluted Corinthian columns, Italian-colored glass, and enough rosemary pine to make any lumberjack weep with envy. James U. Jackson wasn't just a man with a penchant for grand architecture, he was a visionary. He spearheaded the development of North Augusta, established the North Augusta Land Company, and even played a pivotal role in constructing a bridge connecting Augusta, Georgia, to its South Carolina neighbor. His ambition didn't stop there. He also built the Hampton Terrace Hotel, a luxurious resort that, unfortunately, met a fiery end in 1916. After Jackson's death in 1925, Rosemary Hall remained in the family, with his daughter Edith Jackson Alexander taking up residence. Edith, an artist, transformed parts of the home into art and music classrooms, infusing the mansion with creativity and culture. She lived there until her death in 1982, leaving behind not just a legacy of art, but, according to some, a lingering presence. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the ghost on the staircase. Guests and staff have reported sightings of a spectral woman, believed to be Mrs. Jackson herself, gracefully descending the main staircase or making appearances in room 205. Some say they've heard phantom footsteps, witnessed objects moving on their own, and experienced TVs turning on and off without human intervention. It's like the house has its own remote control and a mind of its own. But don't let the hauntings deter you. Rosemary Hall has embraced its spectral residents. The mansion now operates as a charming bed and breakfast, offering guests a chance to sleep in rooms steeped in history and possibly share a midnight snack with a friendly ghost. Just remember to leave out some rosemary. It's only polite. So whether you're a history buff, a ghost hunter, or someone looking for a unique getaway, Rosemary Hall offers a blend of elegance, intrigue, and a touch of the supernatural. Just be sure to mind your manners. You never know when Mrs. Jackson might drop by for a visit. Lake Laneir, a sprawling reservoir in northern Georgia, is renowned for its scenic beauty and recreational offerings. However, beneath its tranquil surface lies a tapestry of history, tragedy, and folklore that has captivated and haunted locals and visitors alike. In the 1950s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers embarked on an ambitious project to create Lake Laneir by damming the Chattahoochee River. The goal was to provide hydroelectric power, water supply, and flood control for the region. This endeavor led to the submergence of over 56,000 acres of land, including entire communities, farmlands, and forests. Among the communities affected was Oscarville, a once thriving black town in Forsyth County. Established in the 1800s during the Reconstruction era, Oscarville became a beacon of black success. By 1911, it boasted approximately 1,100 residents, with 58 black landowners and numerous craftsmen, farmers, and laborers. The community was particularly noted for its poultry farming expertise, contributing significantly to the local economy. In September 1912, two separate incidents involving alleged assaults on white women escalated racial tensions in Forsyth County. The most consequential was the assault and subsequent death of 18-year-old May Crow. In the aftermath, Rob Edwards, a black man, was lynched by a white mob. Two other black teenagers, Ernest Knox and Oscar Daniel, were hastily tried and publicly executed. Following these events, white mobs, often referred to as night riders, terrorized black residents, burning homes, churches, and businesses. By the end of 1912, nearly all of Forsyth County's black population had been forcibly removed, their properties often seized without compensation. In the 1950s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers constructed Lake Laneir by damming the Chattahoochee River. This project submerged several communities, including Oscarville. Many structures and possibly unmarked graves were left intact beneath the lake's waters, contributing to local legends of hauntings. Oscarville's history has been the subject of various media, including the book Blood at the Root by Patrick Phillips and the podcast series 1912, The Forsyth County Expulsion and Its Aftermath. These works aim to shed light on this dark chapter and its lasting impact on the region. Before the lake's creation, Efforts were made to relocate cemeteries and structures. However, due to the limitations of the time, many graves and buildings were left behind. Divers have reported eerie encounters with submerged structures and even human remains, fueling legends of restless spirits. One of Lake Laneir's most enduring ghost stories is that of the Lady of the Lake. In 1958, two women, Delia Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts, vanished after their car plunged off a bridge into the lake. A year later, a decomposed body was found, and decades later, the car and remains of Roberts were discovered. Locals claim to see a woman in a blue dress wandering the bridge, believed to be Young's spirit. Lake Laneir has been the site of numerous accidents and drownings. Since its creation, over 700 deaths have been reported, with more than 200 occurring since 1994. Factors contributing to these incidents include submerged debris, sudden drop-offs, and heavy boat traffic. One documented fatality during the construction of the dam was that of Johnny Callahan. He died in a rock slide while cutting an intake tunnel into the granite rock wall for the powerhouse. While comprehensive records of all worker deaths during the construction are limited, it's acknowledged that large-scale infrastructure projects of that era often had significant risks, and fatalities were not uncommon. Christmas Day, 1964. A driver lost control of their car while crossing a bridge over Lake Laneir, resulting in the vehicle plunging into the lake. 5 children and 2 adults drowned in this tragic incident. In July 2012, 11-year-old Kyle Glover, stepson of singer Usher, was fatally injured when a personal watercraft struck him while he was tubing on the lake. The operator, Jeffrey Simon Hubbard, was later convicted of homicide by vessel and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Following her son's death, Tamika Foster, Usher's ex-wife, initiated a petition to drain and clean Lake Laneir, citing safety concerns and the lake's tragic history. Her efforts highlight the ongoing debate about the lake's safety and the need for increased awareness and precautions. July 2023. A 24-year-old man was electrocuted after jumping into the lake near a dock with faulty wiring. Neighbors attempting to assist also felt electric shocks, highlighting infrastructure safety issues around the lake. In May 2025, Dustin Valencia, a 43-year-old father of 5, went missing while kayaking on Lake Laneir. His body was later found 51 feet underwater. Authorities believe he was training for a triathlon and was not wearing a life vest. These are only a few of the stories that have made Lake Laneir what it is today. Boaters have reported seeing mysterious boats that suddenly appear and vanish. Some say they've seen people on jet skis who seem to wipe out only for rescuers to arrive and find nothing. No jet ski, no person, just ghostly wet footprints leading back to shore. Real cute, Lake Laneir. Fishermen and divers have reported hearing screams and crying coming from beneath the water, even when no one else is around. Some believe these are the souls of those who drowned or were trapped in submerged homes and graves when the lake was formed. You know it's bad when even the fish are probably like, "Can I transfer to a less cursed lake?" Locals believe the lake is cursed due to the erasure of Oscarville's history, and that restless spirits from the town haunt the area as a form of protest. Some visitors have claimed to see a shadowy male figure walking along the lake's edge or standing motionless near the trees before vanishing. People describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when they see him, and electronics often fail nearby. He doesn't speak, he just watches. Unsettling, right? Like an aquatic version of Slender Man? Several swimmers, especially near submerged roads and structures, have claimed they felt something grabbing at their legs under the water. Not seaweed, not fish, but actual fingers. Paranormal investigators say this could be the result of spirits reaching out, either trying to escape or trying to pull someone else in. Campers around Lake Laneir have reported unexplainable flickering lights, like lanterns moving deep in the woods, only to disappear when approached. A few say they've heard footsteps outside their tents, or seen the faint outline of people standing by the water at night. Spoiler, they were not on the guest list. Lake Laneir's terrifying tales are rooted in tragedy, history, and a whole lot of people saying, "Nope, I'm not swimming there again." Whether it's cursed or just dangerously designed, one thing's for sure. If you're headed to Lake Laneir, maybe leave the horror movie soundtrack at home because the lake provides its own. The Marshall House in Savannah, Georgia, isn't just one of the oldest hotels in the state. It's also one of the most haunted. And not just the bump-in-the-night kind of haunted. No, the Marshall House is full-blown. I saw a Civil War surgeon walking down the hall without his hands kind of haunted. Before it became a resting place for tourists and brave honeymooners, it was a hospital. 3 times. And you know what hospitals back in the 1800s meant? That's right. Amputations, death, and no anesthesia. Welcome to Savannah, where ghosts get free continental breakfast. The Marshall House was built in 1851 by Mary Marshall, a savvy businesswoman who probably didn't expect her beautiful hotel to one day become a paranormal playground. It was originally meant to house weary travelers visiting Savannah's busy port. But the Civil War had other plans. During the war, the hotel was converted into a hospital for Union soldiers. Between the amputations, battlefield infections, and no Netflix to distract them, it's safe to say a lot of people died here, and some just never checked out. Then came yellow fever, twice. The hotel became a hospital again in the late 1800s to treat outbreaks of the disease. The staff probably said, "Oh great, more death, just what the place needed." With limited medical knowledge and even fewer ways to treat the fever, the death toll soared. The spirits of those who died during these epidemics are said to linger in the halls, probably still waiting for their prescriptions or just mad about the service. And here's where things get extra spooky. During renovations in the 1990s, workers discovered something unsettling beneath the floorboards. Human remains, yep, arm bones, leg bones, and everything in between. Doctors back then apparently believed the best place to throw amputated limbs was under the floorboards, like ghostly insulation. Forget haunted dolls or creepy paintings. This place is literally built on body parts. Guests have reported all the usual haunted hotel stuff. Faucets turning on and off, lights flickering, and the very specific sound of children laughing when no children are around. Which, let's be honest, is one of the most terrifying things you can hear when you're alone in a dark hotel room. Ghost kids are always the creepiest. Why are they laughing? What do they know? And where are their ghost parents? Room 306 is said to be especially active, with guests reporting a tall man in Civil War attire looming at the foot of the bed. People have also seen apparitions brushing their teeth in the mirror, doors slamming by themselves, and even the feeling of invisible hands grabbing at their bed sheets. One couple claimed a ghost tried to tuck them in. "Sir, no thank you. I appreciate the hospitality, but I draw the line at spectral spooning." Guests and staff have reported a ghostly woman who frequents the women's restroom. She's known for her peculiar habit of locking stalls from the inside when no one is there. Imagine the surprise of patrons finding all stalls occupied only to discover they're completely empty. Some visitors have claimed to see fleeting reflections of a woman in period attire in the bathroom mirrors. These apparitions vanish upon a second glance, leaving guests questioning their eyes and perhaps reconsidering that second glass of wine. While the identity of this restroom specter remains unknown, her playful antics have become part of the hotel's lore. Whether she's a former guest who never checked out, or a remnant from the building's time as a Civil War hospital, her presence adds a unique twist to the facilities. So, if you find yourself at the Marshall House and nature calls, be prepared for more than just a routine visit. Who knows, you might have a brief encounter with the hotel's most elusive guest. Just remember, if a stall is locked with no one inside, it might be best to wait, or find another restroom. According to accounts, a mother and her young son were staying at the Marshall House when the boy began playing alone in the bathroom. After some time, he emerged in tears, telling his mother that the boy he was playing with had bitten him. Upon inspection, she discovered a distinct bite mark on her son's arm. What's more unsettling is that the bite was in a location difficult for the child to reach himself, and there was no other child present. This incident isn't isolated. Other guests have reported similar experiences, with bite marks appearing in places that would be hard to self-inflict, suggesting the presence of a mischievous spirit. Guests have described hearing the sounds of children playing in the hallways, the rolling of marbles, and even seeing apparitions of young boys and girls. These playful spirits are believed to be remnants from the building's past, possibly from its time serving as a hospital during the Civil War and yellow fever epidemics. The Marshall House embraces its ghostly guests with open arms. The hotel doesn't shy away from its haunted past. In fact, it leans into it. They offer ghost tours, tell ghost stories, and even have a creepy portrait in the lobby that seems to follow you with its eyes. It's like a bed and breakfast crossed with a low-key horror movie. Some visitors come just for the ghosts, which is great for business but bad for anyone trying to get a full night's sleep. The hotel's charming 19th century decor, creaky wooden floors, and original clawfoot tubs add to the atmosphere. Is that the sound of the wind? Or is it a phantom nurse checking on you? You may never know. Savannah's humid, eerie vibe only helps the haunting vibes. And when the fog rolls in off the river, it looks like something straight out of The Others. Despite all the spooky stories, the Marshall House remains one of the most popular places to stay in Savannah. People are either extremely brave or really desperate for Instagram content. Reviews often mention friendly staff, clean rooms, and one possible ghost encounter. Honestly, what more could you want from a southern getaway? Free Wi-Fi and a haunted hallway? Sign me up. So, whether you're a die-hard paranormal fan or just someone who accidentally booked a stay and now can't sleep because the towel moved by itself, the Marshall House will definitely leave an impression, one you'll never forget. Mostly because the ghost in the mirror won't let you. Alright, let's talk about the Old Pink House. And yes, old with an E because that automatically makes it sound more distinguished and, let's face it, more likely to have a ghost or two lurking in the linen closet. You'll never guess where our next haunted location is? Oh wait, it's Savannah again. Because apparently when your entire city is built on top of a graveyard, everywhere is haunted. Even the Walgreens probably has a ghost pharmacist. Built in 1771, this pastel powerhouse has lived many lives. A family home, a bank, a tea room, and eventually, a restaurant where the food is great and the spectral service is persistent. The house was originally the Habersham House, named after James Habersham, Jr., one of Georgia's founding fathers, and a man whose stress level peaked during both the Revolutionary War and, legend has it, his own mysterious demise. Though it was built with white stucco, humidity and the local weather caused the bricks underneath to bleed through over time, turning the house a distinct rosy pink. After Habersham's family days were over, the house bounced around more than a tourist on River Street with a to-go daiquiri. In the early 1800s, it became the Planters Bank, the first bank in Georgia. Post-bank days, it served as a bookstore, because nothing pairs better with a haunted ledger than a haunted novel. Then came the tea room era, where ladies sipped Earl Grey while James Habersham Jr. presumably loomed over their scones. And finally, in the 1970s, it became what we now know as the Old Pink House restaurant, where fried green tomatoes are served with a side of poltergeist. James Habersham Jr. supposedly died in the house under mysterious circumstances in the late 1700s. Some say he took his own life because he found out his wife was cheating, and others say it was a heart attack. Either way, the man clearly had unfinished business because he never left. He's the main ghostly resident and is known to hang out in the basement tavern like a frat guy who refuses to graduate. Customers and staff often report a well-dressed man in 18th century attire who appears and vanishes, sometimes tipping his hat like he's still trying to impress guests, even in the afterlife. Rumor has it he's James himself, checking the wine list or trying to figure out what shrimp and grits even is. If you're heading to the restroom, good luck. Patrons have reported toilets flushing on their own, faucets turning themselves on, and even ghostly voices. One woman swore she heard a whisper say, "Nice shoes." Candles have been known to light and extinguish by themselves. Servers say James has a thing for romantic ambiance. He'll dim the lights, spark a candle, and just like your ex, disappear before the check arrives. Because no haunted house is complete without creepy ghost children, staff have reported hearing laughter and footsteps upstairs where no one is staying. The hotel portion of the house is gone now, but apparently the ghost kids missed the checkout date. Typical. Yep, this is Savannah. We had to have at least one pirate. Some claim a grizzled man in boots and a hat has been spotted near the tavern. He smells of rum, which could either be the ghost or the guy from your bachelorette party next table over. Despite the ghostly goings-on, the Old Pink House is one of the most beloved restaurants in Savannah. Celebs have dined here, history buffs swoon over the decor, and ghost hunters come for the pecan-crusted chicken and stay for the paranormal activity. If you're brave enough to visit, be sure to ask for the haunted booth. You might just share your biscuits with James, or at least feel the chill of his approval waft through your sweet tea. So next time you're in Savannah and craving both a southern meal and an existential crisis about the afterlife, the Old Pink House is waiting. Just remember, if your cornbread goes missing, it wasn't the waiter. The Windsor Hotel in Americus serves its spirits with a side of southern charm and just a dash of the creepy. If Savannah is Georgia's haunted capital, Americus is the small town that quietly whispered, "Hold my sweet tea." Let's dig into the full history of this haunted hotel that's classier than a ghost in a tuxedo and scarier than Aunt Patty's fruitcake. The Windsor Hotel opened its grand double doors in 1892, and boy, it made a statement. With over 100 rooms, a turret tower, and enough balconies to stage a dozen Romeo and Juliet reenactments, this hotel was built to impress. Designed to attract northern tourists looking for warm winters and southern elegance, the Windsor was the place to be. Think of it as the Ritz-Carlton of horse and buggy days. From the start, the Windsor attracted not only politicians, celebrities, and wealthy travelers, but apparently a few souls who decided, yeah, I'll just stay forever. Some people go to Disney and never want to leave. Others go to the Windsor and don't. One of the most famous ghostly guests? A little girl named Emily. Ah, yes, Emily. Supposedly the daughter of a hotel maid who died tragically in the hotel. Some say she fell down the elevator shaft. Others claim she succumbed to illness. Either way, she's the classic haunted hotel kid, appearing in mirrors, playing in the halls, giggling in empty rooms, and generally doing what all ghost kids do, being cute and terrifying at the same time. Then there's Floyd, the former doorman and elevator operator. Floyd was said to be a fixture at the hotel for decades, always sharply dressed and ready to help. And even in death, he's apparently still on duty. Guests have seen a man in uniform near the elevator, tipping his hat and then vanishing like your paycheck on payday. Like most old buildings in the South, the Windsor almost met the wrecking ball. It closed in the 1970s and sat abandoned, prime ghost-growing conditions. Paranormal squatters moved in, and people swore they could hear whispers and phantom footsteps echoing through the darkened halls. But in the 1990s it was renovated and reopened, because even ghosts deserve good room service. If you're the brave type, or just wildly irresponsible, ask for room 333. Hotel staff and guests alike have reported cold spots, flickering lights, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. One woman said her TV turned on by itself and played static at full blast. So either a ghost or it's Comcast just being Comcast. Naturally, the Windsor has been investigated by ghost hunters, mediums, and that one guy with the EVP recorder who swears he heard a ghost whisper, "Get out." They've caught disembodied voices, strange orbs, and even shadowy figures roaming the hallways. One ghost hunter claimed Floyd told him to get back to work, which is probably the most southern ghostly scolding you'll ever get. The hotel's restaurant, Rosemary and Thyme, is lovely and haunted. Staff have heard chairs scraping across the floor when no one's there and seen glasses slide off tables by themselves. One waiter quit after seeing an old woman vanish into the kitchen wall. I mean, understandable. That's not the kind of customer service you train for. If you're riding the Windsor elevator and it stops at a floor you didn't press, don't panic. Well, maybe a little. It's said that Floyd, ever the polite ghost, still operates the elevator from beyond. So if you end up on the wrong floor, don't blame the technology. Blame the gentlemanly spirit doing his job a century too late. Today, the Windsor Hotel is still in business. You can book a room, enjoy a fine meal, and possibly get photobombed by a ghost. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, the history, the architecture, and the ambiance make this place unforgettable. Just don't be surprised if someone unseen tucks you in at night, or if your room mysteriously smells like lavender and regret. So next time you're in Georgia, skip the chain hotels and go straight for the haunted royalty. After all, who wouldn't want to sleep somewhere where the doorman might literally be dead? Well, there you have it, folks. Another terrifying tour through Georgia's most haunted hotspots. If you made it this far without turning on all the lights in your house or texting your ex out of pure fear-induced loneliness, congratulations. You're braver than 90% of the people who step foot into these ghost zones, or you're just dead inside. Either way, I respect it. We've covered mansions full of mourning, hospitals full of horror, and graveyards that are, well, way too full for comfort. And just when you thought Georgia couldn't possibly have more haunted places, guess what? We're just getting warmed up. There are still plenty of places in this state where the ghosts are louder than your neighbor's lawnmower on a Saturday morning. But don't worry, Part 3 is already in the works. That's right, Georgia's most haunted places. Part 3, coming soon to a screen near you, assuming a ghost doesn't short-circuit your Wi-Fi first. We're talking about ghost trains, phantom hitchhikers, and maybe even a haunted Chick-fil-A. Okay, that one's just a rumor for now. In the meantime, if you live in Georgia and you hear a whisper when you're home alone, don't panic. It's probably just your house settling, or a Civil War soldier checking to see if you've been reading his diary again. Either way, maybe keep some sage in the pantry just in case. Now before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. It really helps keep the channel alive, unlike the people in these stories. Seriously though, your support means everything. Every like, share, and comment lets me keep digging up these creepy tales so you don't have to. Plus, I'm running out of ways to explain to my mom that I'm gainfully employed while chasing down ghosts and haunted chicken coops. And if you've got a ghost story of your own, or you just live in Georgia and your walls whisper at night, drop it in the comments. I might just feature it in Part 3. Until then, keep your flashlights charged, your Ouija boards locked up, and your expectations low for the Hawks next season. Stay spooky, stay safe, and maybe sleep with one eye open. Georgia doesn't play around.